Hello, and welcome to the Package Weekly Retro, where we talk about what went well and what went not so well. So we have an agenda that we'll be going off of, and it looks like, Nico, you are first.
Yep. So this past week we had 2 out of 10 front-end maintainer. Either the rest were either OOO or at capacity, and so the two that were still not at capacity were overloaded and stuff are like sitting there for a while. Plus, it's the end of the milestone. I also have been sick most of the week, and this impacted my performances. And the new container registry and the group level container registry testing is going very slow, partially because we had a delayed update, partially because I found a bug, so I had to start over from scratch. And over to Steve.
I spent too much time trying to test the bulk API retention option on staging and production because I had forgotten about how tags with the same image ID won't be deleted unless you delete all of them. So that caused me to waste some time. And then I also have had difficulty making time for non-deliverable things outside of working on issues and reviews, such as watching performance training or reading for database training. And then I also just this morning discovered that I didn't fully fix the Conan file download bug. I partially fixed it, and there's one more thing that needs to be changed, which is unfortunate. Nick?
Yeah, so for me, I wasn't feeling particularly great in the middle of the week. I'm feeling much better today, though. But yesterday was a pretty slow day all round. And then, I've read these in the wrong order. My merge requests this week I felt the impact from what Nico was saying, in that a couple of my merge requests this week have gone really slow. And it's unfortunate because they're all related to the new package registry list. So hopefully they'll get merged soon and that can all get done and cleaned up. Tim, you're next.
Yeah, overall it was a great week. I'll just echo Steve's comment that I've been having a hard time focusing on non-deliverable items. Maybe this is a symptom of us moving really fast and having a lot of issues that are being merged and everything. So feels like good problems to have, but yes, would be nice to get to some of that extra stuff. On to Ian.
I was distracted a lot of this week in terms of focusing on my deliverable works, which seems to be the opposite of other people. Just with changes with the UX org structure and the new maturity scorecard process being laid out, and then the cross-stage think big, I was very distracted all week. Over to Gigi.
Hi. I got no merge requests this week as I was focusing on Composer MR, and I got the sad news that my flight has been canceled to go back to Europe. So it seems like my Europe trip will be canceled. I'm feeling like going back to Australia to be safe home. So that will impact my travel plans. That's very sad. And on to David.
Yes, thank you. So this week I spent a lot of time between two issues. One is for Maven, which is still open, and the other one is for the multi-part uploads fix, which the MR has been merged, but took a lot of time. Also, I implemented the events tracking for the registry notifications, and once I have done that, I just learned that the notifications are not enabled on production. And breaking news, Switzerland closed all the schools until April 4th. Woo! On to Hedy.
Okay, so we found some last minute registry stability performance issues with large repositories. And this is like the day, actually yesterday's the day we usually cut a release for getting the registry into production. So it was a little tight, a little scary, but yeah, we found a couple issues. And the good news is later. On to Jean.
So basically what Ellie said, we found some concerning issues regarding memory management on the test against the dev registry, but fortunately they are fixed and we have just got the results and they look good. On to Nico.
Okay, so for what went well, just to do pair programming and generally working on the test of the other stages and all the code made me learn a lot of new stuff. And even though the test is going slow, as of today, the group level container registry and the new UI is enabled for gitlab.org group on .com and for everyone on the staging. So I guess we'll get feedback pretty soon, or we will move on with releasing it to 25, 50, 75, and then everybody. And over to Steve.
I wrote this before I found the Conan bug, but most of my 12.9 MRs are getting finished up with very nice timing for a good transition to 12.10, and also just in time for me to be taking some time off next week, which of course sadly will not be in Europe. Other things that have been good, I've been feeling pretty comfortable reviewing most database MRs, which has been nice. And I also got 7 MRs merged this week. Over to Nick.
Wow, that's a nice number. So for me, the new package registry list that Nico originally worked on is pretty much ready to go now. There's just a couple more MRs to fix up, removing the feature flag before it can be deployed live. But that's ready. That includes all the sorting. It includes the filter tabs as well, so that you can filter by package type, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm happy with that, and hopefully we can get that deployed soon. Over to Tim.
Thanks. What went well? 12.9's wrapping up, and it's looking like another great milestone. Lots of really cool features. I just saw the container registry changelog and got really excited to see all the things that are included. Not to mention the deploy tokens and some other stuff as well. And I think I've said this 3 milestones in a row now, but it really feels like we have our planning cadence down. Like the issue gets created. It was really great to get all the feedback and the issues, and I'm obsessed with trying to create the smallest issues as possible. So I feel like that's going to be a path to success if we can keep going down that direction. So thank you everyone for your help. I know that is extra work on top of all the development you're doing. On to Ian.
Despite being distracted this week, we did wrap up a couple of things we need to do for research, the discussion guide, finishing up the survey, some overall paperwork we need to do. So starting next week, we're going to start to get some actual user data, which we all know how much that excites me. And yesterday, we had our first trial of a cross-stage Think Big, which was all an origination from this team. And it went really well, and it seems like we're getting really positive responses from the PMs and designers that were involved. So that was pretty awesome this week. Over to Gigi.
I did some specification for the Composer MR, following up all the discussion that have been happening. So I did some tests and documented what the API should look like. I took into consideration all the discussions that I read, opinion from everyone, and try to summarize into a specification. If someone wants to take a look, that would be great. And I hope that will help moving the MR forward. So I'm pretty happy about that. And on to David.
So the Rails performance training session of last week, not this week, was very interesting about profiling and benchmarking. And this week I got to try some of these tools, and I speed up the NPM test suite, which was very nice. And also, finally, the multi-part upload fix has been merged after 3 or 4 refactorings. Like, it seems like an eternity. Well, on to Joao.
So after some improvements on the last days, we have run a garbage collection against a copy of the dev registry, and we recovered the 40% of space. So that's 4 terabytes in a couple of hours, which with the upstream version would take probably 2-3 days. So that was great. And the 2.8.2 release of the container registry is going out now, and it's the one that is the largest so far. It looks great. On to Ellie.
Yeah, so the aforementioned issues, me and Zhao, for the more hairy one, we did a lot of work together this week, just debugging and like doing a little bit of like pair programming on it, and I was really I enjoyed it. When it was fixed, I had enjoyed it. Doing was a little stressful, but yeah, it was a nice experience altogether, and I think that is the last thing.
Great. Anything anyone else wants to add before we stop recording?
Oh yes, I just remembered a bad thing. The registry MR I was working on was canceled due to performance issues. So that's a bummer.
That was the Helm charts issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna need some metadata to get that to work.
On a positive note, we have a nice metadata database that's being defined right now, and it seems like we're making progress on that. So hopefully we can pick that back up soon.
Yeah. As soon as we have that working, I think there's going to be a bunch of features that we'll be able to work on, which will be great. Seems like everything registry related depends on that.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure at all.
Yeah, as long as it's 100% correct and is delivered really quickly, no
And
problem, right?
no mistakes and no bugs ever.
Yeah, just
Featureful as well, right?
yeah, we just won't put the bugs in this time. It's so obvious.
All right, great. Well, I'm going to stop recording, but we could feel free to stick around. Thanks everyone at home for watching, and always reach out if you have any questions. Miss you, Dan. See you soon.